What is up, y'all? We're here for our weekly romance oracle reading using the Romance Angels Oracle, and then we're going to get a little clarity with the Psychic Tarot of the Heart by John Holland. I really love that tarot deck. It's specifically designed to be addressing issues revolving the heart, love, relationships. Not necessarily romantic, but just how we interact with each other and ourselves. All right, so every week we tune in on Thursdays, Thirsty Thursdays, to see what we need to know for our love lives. We can get a little advice as to how we should show up for ourselves so that we can, set ourselves up for the best possibility of having good and healthy relationships. Playfulness, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit to shine. So maybe you have been in a heavy vibration around love lately. Maybe you've been, maybe there's been a dark cloud around, maybe you've been in difficult relationships. We've certainly just come through a tough, tumultuous review during the Venus retrograde. We just got out of a 40-day period where we looked deep and long and hard at what we love and why we love it, and maybe what's changing in us about that, and what we are taking with us moving forward in regards to relationships, what we value, what gives us a sense of security, and what doesn't anymore, and how we show up in regards to life and in regards to our relationships with others, and then how we're not really anymore. And so, as soon as Venus went direct, Mercury went retrograde. So it's just about going back and reviewing again, and then, rehashing what we think about it, talking it out and everything. So it just may have gotten, pretty intense over the last few weeks. So it's really, it's easy to fall into a quagmire of feeling like, I'm back to where I started, or, the same cycles, when will the same cycles end? And, and it's easy to get stuck in that same mindset and that same vibration and forget that things are changing, and that they can change, and that they don't always have to be the same. And so, all we need to do is just do a reset within ourselves and get some, it's not that easy. It's a process. Have patience, but it's just an ongoing journey of, doing the, reflection work, the healing work, getting clarity. What do we want? What are we not settling for? And then, giving ourselves just time to rejuvenate. It's like when you trip a breaker and you have to press the reset button in the outlet to get it to work again. It's like, that's what we're doing right now. It's just this little reset. And I think shortly things are going to really be turning around, because, after having taken a long, good look at yourself and then gaining some clarity, it does kind of take a minute to just let the pieces fall back into place, let the dust settle, let yourself feel good and strong. It's almost like letting concrete set, right? We're letting all of this new mold, this new shape, this new plaster take hold and harden, right? Not harden, but to get more fixed. But in the meantime, it's go back forward, try to find the fun in it again, try to find the fun and the optimism in romance. Don't let that die, because then the desire within the heart dies. So keep your optimism open that romance is alive, that, the more playful you are, the more lighthearted you are, the more willing you are to be optimistic, but realistic and wise moving forward, then, good things will start happening. It puts out a good energy. Okay. Also be really firm in what you do not want. The more clear you are on what does not work for you, the better. And the more you will avoid chaos and, any kind of just wasting your time in lessons that you don't want to keep relearning. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So Venus governs both love and money. Those two themes are interrelated, and they affect both, and they play into both in one another in metaphysical ways and in practical ways and in literal ways. So, they both tie into our self-worth and our trust and our faith and our ability to receive and what we will allow ourselves to receive because of our sense of deservingness. So yeah, maybe right now, as you're just being lighthearted about your love life and not taking that too seriously, focus on, your career and finances and really get that nice and solid and secure. And while you're doing that work where you can take more action, independent action you can take within your career. It doesn't require other people. You can always work on your own self and your own understanding of relationships solo while you're working on your career. Relationships come and go, but you will always only be you with you, regardless of who comes in and out. So you need to be working on your career, and you need to have your own security at all times anyway. And that gives us freedom to within the relationships that we have, because then we are independent and we have more freedom to say fuck you and walk away from any job, any person that is, not good for us or in our highest good. And I mean, not that we should have that we should be saying fuck you, I'm walking away, but it's that quality, that underlying ability to not get stuck in a situation that is causing you suffering, right? Sometimes in life, we do have to go through difficulties, and that's part of what makes us stronger, and we build persistence and stability and sustainability and endurance, durability. But other times we need to take a decisive action and, walk away from something or not continue on. So, it's having the ability to have make the choice, right? From the most liberated stance of not needing anything outside of yourself, right? Because you're taken care of. So you're in something by choice, not by a lack thereof. Codependency. Oh my goodness. So yeah, in order to avoid codependency, it's healing the finances. I know for the last 2 years, that's certainly what I've been focusing on. Every relationship that you come out of, it's we have a deeper understanding of self and a deeper sense of self-awareness. And that was one of the goals that I set out to heal, was any form of codependency in myself. We're all on a spectrum of it. And so we all have to take a proactive, approach to seeking it out within ourselves. And it's not always easy to find. And, a lot of it is unconscious and subconsciously driven. And so it takes effort and continued effort. And it's always a process. So be patient, with yourself. And I'm trying to be patient with myself as well. But addictions are affecting your romantic life. So again, this may be, a reflection and related. It's when we have addictions, it's what are we trying to fill? The light, the universe is made of two parts, light and vessel. Everything that we reach for, that we think is going to give us a hit of pleasure or energy, or even negative energy, it's that we're what we're really reaching for is that connection with the light, because we're trying to fill a void that we think that we have. And so we're reaching outside of us. And these things, everything around us is a vessel for the light. The soul is a vessel for the light. I'm a vessel for the light. You're a vessel for the light. This is a vessel. The phone is a vessel. The video is a vessel for the light. An apple is a vessel for the light. Penicillin is a vessel for the light, all kinds of things, right? Every single thing in this world is a vessel for the light. Yoga practice is a vessel for the light. Rehabilitation might be a vessel for the light. Chocolate cake might be a vessel. It can be a vessel for the light in balance. Out of balance, it's a vice, right? So we can reach for things, reaching for the light, but taking it out of turn or not through a process of earning or out of balance, or for in a spirit of like instant gratification or body consciousness. And so, that can cause us to reach outside of ourselves in an addictive way, trying to pacify. And so one thing that can help shift that need to reach outside is to realize that what I'm seeking in what I'm addicted to, say I am addicted to gambling, right? Maybe I'm seeking the excitement of the risk factor of, oh, maybe it's going to be a big payoff, but I could lose everything. And so that is like the preoccupation between pleasure and pain. It's like, oh, I could have it all or I could lose it all. And so it gets you sucked in, and it gets you those spikes of like cortisol and endorphins and all of it, right? And so it can be very destructive. Whereas you could experience those same levels of excitement of possible gain and possible risk by just connecting more with the light in your spiritual path, because on a day-to-day basis, it's like we're constantly faced with our fears, right? We're constantly faced with risking and gaining it all in any moment. And we bypass those mundane moments that really are decisive moments in our lives, that are really bigger risks and bigger gains than we even realize. But instead, we turn away from those and we try to numb them by going after something like, for instance, the gambling addiction, to give us the easier, bigger, more gratifying instant payoff, when in reality, it's going to be yes, it's going to be an instant source of gratification and that excitement. Maybe we get a little bit in the front end, but long term it creates damage and chaos, and it doesn't bring long term fulfillment, and it doesn't bring long term satisfaction. It's just a temporary high. Whereas we face those fears head on. In a day-to-day basis, or those weaknesses in the self, and it is like, oh, it's so scary sometimes, but it's like the payoff that comes is even bigger, because huge miracles open up in our life, and we're on this different path of life that we have raised, like our up-leveled our destiny, right? And we don't even know what's going on behind the scenes. But it's like every time we walk through these fears or overcome wounds or insecurities, it's like we open ourselves up for a higher level of blessing and experience to come into our lives, right? And so we do it in a way that is connecting us with the light. We know that light is our source, right? Wow, light is my source. Light is the cause of all of these things, and some of them are tests and some of them are opportunities, and that's scary and exciting all in and of itself. Fear of God, wow, so huge. So it's like I don't need anything outside of that to experience all the excitement and all the thrills and chills. But it's like, then you can actually, what you are receiving and blessing, it's like, wow, that's going to be really fulfilling, because it's not going to slip through your fingers. It's going to be truly meant for you. And it's going to be, it's going to yield more blessing afterwards. It's going to be sustaining, and it's going to serve to uplift the consciousness in a positive way. So yes, healing codependency, turning inward, doing the healing work, doing the healing of learning how to just spend time with the self, and read personal development books and books about things that will help you improve in the areas that you need improvement in. I mean, that's, just one method. I like To Be Magnetic work. They have a website where they have different workshops that like focus in and zero in on different categories, like major categories in your life, like love and money. It's like unblock love, unblock money, unblock shadow, unblock inner child. And so it's like you're going in and you're like learning how to hone in on these different subjects and do healing work, like concentrated healing work, and rewrite the subconscious. Meanwhile, becoming more magnetic and able to really manifest what you're trying to call in those areas in a more authentic way, and attract in things that are really in authentic alignment with you. And it helps us learn how to discern, what is really in authentic alignment and what maybe isn't. And so if you are interested in that work, you can check out their podcast to learn more about them. I would suggest listening to one of the process episodes where like other people have done the workshops and they tell about what happened. Otherwise, you can sign up for their pack using my 15% off discount in my description box. I think I manifested an affiliation program with them, but I do have my affiliate links below. You can either pay like all up front or like monthly, but I think it's like $30 a month or with the 15% off, whatever that is. All right, let's get one last card. So overcoming codependency. I know that literally this is a true story about 2B magnetic work and codependency and healing career and finances. When my last serious relationship ended, but right before that, like I knew it was like probably coming to an end, and I didn't know whether I should leave or not. I didn't know whether it was just, this was what adult relationships were and you needed to work through them, at all costs, or like when to like leave, it's hard. It's a hard call. And so there was a podcast episode, and the podcast is called Expanded. It's by 2B Magnetic. Lacey Phillips is her name, the main creator, founder. So there was an episode about healing codependency. And I knew if I listened to that episode, my relationship would end like within a matter of probably days or weeks. And I avoided that episode, and I shit you not, that summer, it was during this time, it was right before Rosh Hashanah. Actually, it was right before the new moon of Virgo, the month of reflection leading up to Rosh Hashanah. I decided it was time, and I went out in the woods and I listened to the Healing Codependency podcast, and I shit you not, on the new moon of Rosh Hashanah, the partner that I was with at the time picked a fight with me. I knew I was about to break up with him, and I just didn't want to do it in that moment. I wanted to do it more consciously. And he went ahead with it. And I was able to be like, okay, I knew it was the right thing. But that is how effective the work is. When you volunteer into it, Spirit starts working with you. Another thing that I do that is a little bit more structured, that gives me a structure to work with, is Kabbalah classes through the Kabbalah Center. You can sign up at Kabbalah.com. There are like tons of free resources on their website, which is a free account, but I have been with them for years, and I just pay for a membership, and I think it's totally worth it. So no affiliation there. They're nonprofit. 2B Magnetic is just a brand. They just do this work. True love. And so when we heal love and money, and we can get into a lighthearted, like, hey, I'm okay on my own. I am loving life. Like, I have enough, my cup runneth over, right? We need to be in a place where our cup runneth over, or else we don't have enough to give from a place of wholeness, right? And we can't receive from a place of wholeness because we're receiving from a place of taking, of needing, of addictive tendency, of lack, right? So once we get into a state of my cup runneth over, I am playful. I love my life. Like, I have an enjoyable life that, is fun to be in, and I have enough to share with someone else, and I have something to bring to the table, and I'm aware of this, and I deserve someone who also has things to bring to the table. It's like when you get into a sense of playfulness about it, and you can heal all of these things, you heal that sense of self-worth. You start paying attention to being at least respectful and responsible and conscious around your money, and healing those issues, healing the codependency. Then true love can come in, and there's more potential for real, honest, true, authentic love to happen, where you can receive it in a by the way kind of way. Like, it's not like you need a relationship, or you're like, it's like you're not satisfied with that one. It's just like, oh, I'm happy. This is great. And now it's like, oh, you're starting to meet people, and because you are not in a needy state for a relationship, it's easier to say no to things that aren't in alignment with what you want, so that you keep room open to recognize true love when it does come in. And then you have a space available for that. Okay, so let us get some clarity with the psychic tarot of the heart with John Holland. I've been holding this little tiny ruby today to increase my vitality and inner fire. Let's get more clarity on the playfulness. What more do we need to know about playfulness? Y'all need to go follow me on TikTok. Okay, so playfulness, helpless and hopeless. This is 8 of Swords. So we might feel trapped. We might feel cornered or just at a dead end or like in a rock bottom or plateaued. And so in order to get out of this feeling like there's nothing we can do, there's nothing that can be done, it's like in order to regain that sense of self-empoweredness again and to call your power back, it's like put your focus on things that bring you joy again. Don't put all your power on what is making you feel like this deep sense of loss. That is not all that you have. It is not all that defines you, you know? And so one thing that I have been doing over the last 2 years, healing those codependency issues, money issues, and also just learning to enjoy life on my own. And, you know, that has helped me feel a sense of fullness, you know, for the most part. Not to say that I never feel a little bit isolated or alone or lonely. I think we all do. But for the most part, it's like I have learned like to enjoy life. And and so I think that sometimes it's so hard to get out of the feeling of feeling trapped in or unable to change your circumstances. And eventually it just takes something that is so startling or like just a decisive, like, I'm just going to do this. I just can't handle this anymore. A few years ago, I think it was more than a few years ago, it was back around like 2012. I was going through this phase of conscious awakening where it's like you're seeing like through the big iron curtain for the first time, and you're like, oh my God, it's all been set up and all this stuff. And it's like the first wash of paranoia is coming over you. And I think like the Mayan calendar was like coming to an end, and like Discovery Channel started doing all these like doomsday, you know, like material. And I wasn't as conscious of like what was coming in to my awareness. And I was getting really depressed and really paranoid. And, you know, there were just other things going on in my life that were also like deeper, like harsher factors. But all of that noise was just like so amplified. And everything else was like coming to a culmination. And I remember just getting in such a depressed and terrified state that I was like on the verge of just like losing it. And that's why like I feel so sorry for all of these people that are so easily manipulated by like this conspiracy culture and all of this, because it's like I was there too at one point. But at a certain point I was just like, you know what? Like, fuck this. If like the fall of society is about to happen, like, do I really want to be in season 5 of The Walking Dead with no more clean socks? Like, let them take me. Like, if it ends, if the shit hits the fan, like, what are we gonna do? Like, be in constant dress rehearsal for like fear and sorrow and doom, like waiting for it all to like unfold. Like, it's like, look around us. I mean, the world's on fire. The 4 dragons of the 4 corners have like ridden in, galloping on hellfire and brimstone, forest fires, disease, like politics, like everything is happening around us. And like, we can still have a good time. We can still find a way to laugh and joke and eat pizza. So like, you know, don't be hopeless. Just like find a way to find the joy again. And I think that the thing about joy is that it's the ability to hold happiness and pain at the same time, because life is never discriminatory about like when it offers you what. It's usually a casserole of everything all the time. Just breathe, taking a time out, healing, reset, like we talked about, or I've made several videos today, but I don't know if it was on this one or the last, but I was talking about pressing that reset button in the outlet when there's a short circuit. It's like, take a breath, breathe, take a time out. just to, for personal development, self-love, working on yourself, just connecting with things that bring you joy again. Stop worrying about relationships, period, and just go have fun and see what comes along. All right, career and finance. Ooh, healing root chakra issues, feelings of security and being able to follow through and take action. What's blocking us there in that area? Ooh, rebuild. So just like big, sudden change. Don't resist it. There is a dedicated effort. So maybe there is something that you're building now that's going to bring sudden, a great change. It's going to be something that you're apprenticing in, something that you're going to put like a continual effort in mastering the craft. It's going to be like a real learning experience, but maybe there's going to be a sudden change or opportunity come up in that area. If so, don't resist. Maybe one more card on this, or maybe like the environment in your current workplace is like suddenly changing as well. Clarity of belief. So this is Ace of Swords, a moment of clarity, decisiveness, new beginnings, new ideas, new forward progress. So anybody's guess there. Codependency. What do we need to know about codependency? Shine. This is the Sun card. So I think we're really becoming illuminated on how codependency has been affecting us in our lives and what we can watch out for going forward, right? Like those warning signs in ourselves. It's like we're so trained on looking at the red flags in others. It's like, what about when we have red flags within ourselves? Watch for your own red flags. If you're getting depleted in certain areas and you need nourishment because you're at risk of being vulnerable, then maybe take a look and see how you can, turn to source or healthy ways to keep those areas fulfilled or thriving or healthy, or, keep your love tank full so that you're not reaching outside of the self. But yeah, definitely beginning to shine a light on healing. The energy in the situation is beginning to turn around, and it's like new joyful experiences are on the horizon. So the Sun card is always really, really good, really, really positive. So healing for sure is coming to light, and more self-awareness and epiphany. True love. What do we need to know about true love? What do we need to know concerning true love? Ooh, okay, so crown chakra and heart chakra. So connecting that divine inspiration, that connection with source, like working on that connection, that spiritual relationship, and doing the heart healing is what's going to open us up to true love. So again, healing the codependency is relying on source and that connection to our higher power instead of looking to others and making them, giving them too much power over our heart, right? We're healing the heart so that we can open it up again to let true love in. But we do that by, turning into source from that higher inspiration and through the Christ center in our heart and through Holy Spirit speaking with us. Choose your battles. So 7 of Wands, this is about standing up for yourself or overcoming patterns from the past and limiting beliefs and things that have held you back. This is about not settling for those who don't have your best interests at heart. This is about being able to see the patterns or the red flags and move beyond them very decisively. Stand your ground or defend what is yours, and be proud of yourself and defend, and by that I mean the healing. Protecting the healing and the consciousness and the vibration that you've built, and being, discerning about the pacing on who comes in and how quickly, and, based on what, So yeah, you guys, big things to come. Let's pull one more on the finance and career card just to see like what's this moment of clarity. Wow, like what more about it? Is it going to be a decisive action that we take? coming together. Ooh, so maybe another opportunity. This is Two of Cups. So this is collaboration. This is partnership. This is like an offer of like-minded or like individuals of equal. Like this is in a relationship sense, like good friends, or a relationship goes deeper, or meeting like a kindred. So this could be like a really great opportunity in like toward your purpose and your dreams. Oh my goodness, Blossom. So this is the Judgment card, I believe. Yes. So Judgment, Rosh Hashanah coming around. We've been doing Teshuvah, preparing ourselves, taking ourselves through proactive judgment. And so hopefully at the end of this, something good is coming from the work that we've been putting out there. Or maybe something is going to be balanced out. But either way, fast things could happen. Sudden shifts, sudden opportunities. And if sudden change comes up that is unexpected, then, be optimistic that it is for your higher and the highest good of all. And that there's positive things playing out. All right, you guys. Well, good luck out there. I will see you tomorrow for our, I guess, weekend message to reflect on what we've been learning this week. All right, ciao.